thank you because you have brought us together. Thank you because you have made a day like this that shall come to pass. We pray and commit this organization into thy hands. We pray and commit the event unto thy hands. Come and take charge. Come and take preeminence to the glory of your name alone. In the name of God the Father, in the name of God the Son, in the name of God the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we are prayed. Amen.
1, 2, go. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle, honor, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children the banner without sin. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for yourself. Let's clap it.
I also want to acknowledge the representative of our EDCEO, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Mrs. Noya Ayeni, who is ably represented here by my regional coordinator, Architect Ben Itenge. I want to say thank you, sir, for coming from all the way from Rivers, from Port Harcourt, to join us here in Ogoja. I really want to appreciate your determination and your commitment, sir. I want to acknowledge and welcome our people, our partners, our collaborators who came all the way from Ibadan, from Google Research Institute. They have been our dependable partners on this project. In short, how this crop actually look at like. So we'll be providing seedlings of coffee and tea, and we also, this program will ensure that we give you. This program is mainly to create awareness among our people on the economic viability of coffee and tea. Before we continue, let me tell you a journey on how we arrived here. As we are here in All-Star Hotel in Ogoja, this journey started sometimes back in 2022. The first, when the council conceived the idea of actually developing coffee and tea, actually started as just coffee. You know, the concept started as development of coffee for exports in 2022 with the presentation of a memo to the State Committee on Export Promotion Council. The State Committee on Export Promotion Council is a platform where all MDs under the state government and federal government in the state meet and deliberate on the export value chain. So a memo was presented to the council on the inclusion of oil palm and coffee as part of the strategic products to be adopted by the state under what the council calls One State, One Product Initiative. Before then, the state was actually running with products like rice, cassava under its One State. For our people in Ogoja who are willing to take up this. So I want to also use this as a wake-up call to everyone here in Ogoja and the environment in Cross River North to embrace this crop, and I can assure you that what we are celebrating in other crops is just a child's play by the time we know what is obtainable in coffee. Coffee, we have a little experience in our cocoa. Coffee is more than 3.
Let me welcome the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Marine.
As the State Coordinator, Dr. Osasa said, this is a practical engagement. It's not a political engagement. So we are here to deploy.
Around, if you know what is it kg, 2 kg, 10 kg of coffee costs in the market, we will all want to plant it. So the same way cocoa is enriching us in Cross River State, the same way we want us to also add coffee to it, so that in the near future, our brothers and sisters, our children will not be bearing the name professor without shishi in their pockets. Yes. What's the essence of I'm a professor? I'm a doctor. Yes, I'm an academic doctor. I don't say going to school is. Are you getting me? You will sell it to you poor people, white people. It will be exported. It is the big people that have they have all the takes. They will buy a kg of it for so much money, and you make the extra money. By the time in the next 10 years you come back to Ogoja, you will see that Ogoja will boom, Bekwara will boom, Obudu will boom. In fact, Cross River State will be very rich. By the time we begin to, God has blessed us with good land. We don't need even fertilizer. God has blessed us with good land to cultivate all these things. And if we hear it today, the nursery is going to be put in place. You put yourself together, you have the land, like Doctor said in his presentation. You don't need to go and buy big land. In your backyard, like in the days of my great-grandparents, they used to plant kola nut trees around the house. They plant kola nut trees so that every month, like that in the season, you see they will harvest it so much. And it was money, making fruits. So instead of leaving your backyard like that, please plant coffee. Coffee tree, you're not giving it food, nothing. Just plant coffee trees around your backyard. By the time they begin to bear, you harvest a small bucket of it or a small bowl of it. You will earn good money. So that is what we have come here to enlighten our people, that we as we plant other food crops that is for our daily use, for our daily needs, we should plant this other one that will give us good money. That's why we are here, to enlighten us that our land here can grow coffee and tea, that we can do it alongside other of our, daily use, daily needs, produce and food items. We can grow it along it, and we can make much more money. Thank you very much. So on that note, we have started already. We have started. It is open. It has been open. And I still say that coffee and tea will be good in Cross River State. That in the near future, I prophesy as the woman of God that Cross River State will be the giant of coffee and tea in Nigeria. Thank you. This meeting has been opened already, and I see open it in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You will not just come and listen to it and just go back like that. As you get back and put it into practice, you will live wealth. Not money in the bank, but money at your backyard, money in the bush. You will leave money for your great-grandchildren. Whenever they come, as at today, I'm still benefiting from my grandfather's palm fruit in Akwabuyo local government. So, as you leave it for your children, that legacy, you will be remembered even after 20, 30, 40, 50 years you would have gone. Thank you very much, and God bless us.
Let's continue to put our hands together for Elder Dr. Mrs. Abigail Duke O'Rourke.
When the sheep, so many berries will fall on that. No, that one has and the advantage is that it's fast. But at the same time, many things will fall on the top of that apple. The unripe one will fall, leaf will fall, and the seed one will fall. So you will still have a lot of work to do after that process. And apart from that, you will also lose a lot of confidence. So that is the reason why I will not encourage such type of method. The only one I could encourage is that when you see it ripen like that, please just eat it. Even if you cannot pick more than 2 pieces per day or 3 pieces per day, it is better. Because you know that what you are picking is the correct one. One, you are picking the right one. Then 2,
you are picking the one that is not diseased. Then you are not picking the one that is not matured. So, because of those reasons, it is better than we exercise picking. We'll be picking it one by one. Now, before we can use our seed to establish our pre-nursery, we have to process this one that we are looking at strawberry. Then we have to process the berry before we can extract out the real seed that inside beans. We also call it beans. Now do we process it? One, we first soak it. You can soak it for 24 hours. If it is the one that you want to use to establish, soak it for 24 hours. The essence of soaking is to make the covering, that covering will be soft. Now, after that, then with the pulp. The pulp means we are going to remove that fleshy outside. We are going to remove it. We can use machine. There are machines that remove it. But if you can't get machine, we use mortar. We see it as we use mortar and pestle. As if we want to remove the covering of beans, while the fleshy part is float. Then you remove without able to remove the seed underneath. Immediately you remove the seed underneath, then please let's go and dry it. Then you don't dry it. This one that you want to use for the establishment of a pre-nursery, you don't dry it outside. You don't dry it under the seed. You dry it inside. Like 3 to 4 days below. It must not be the moisture content must not be less than 10%. Otherwise, the bag will reduce. Now, after we do that, we can still try to eliminate some that are normally shaped or that are infested with pests or disease in our next time. Now, now when we process it like that, there is a difference between the seed that we process for industrial processing or the seed and the seed that we process for the pre-nursery establishment. The one for industrial processing, there is still something tiny, something like a tester that you still have to remove. That one will be done by machines. But for the one you want to plant, you don't remove that. After you have removed the fleshy part, just leave that pathway along with it. Now we are able to look at the next thing is we are blocking our good seed for planting now. The next thing is that we prepare our bed, seed bed. And seed bed is normally prepared I always advise people to prepare it in row. Some people just till soil like that, then they will spray this. By the time we germinate, everything just prepare. And the rate of germination, the rate of growth. So it is always better to do it in it out. I want to believe that we understand. Okay. You try to sow it, you see another, then you cover it up. When you cover it up, then you can look for something like a mulching material. Use it to cover it. The essence of that one is to generate something like a little bit of heat, make it out quickly. Then at the same time, to conserve the water inside the soil. So that is why you have to apply. Then you make sure that you have your shade on the top because the sun's rays are heavy on. So after about 6 weeks, it will sprout. You will see something like a root. The root first of all appear. So after about 8 weeks, or 7 or 8 weeks, then you see the cultivation up and even starts breaking up leaves. That means before you can expect your coffee to germinate, don't expect it earlier than 2 months. So even if it has not germinated 1 month or 1.5, don't be afraid. It's going to germinate. Because the covering at the back of that seed is very thick. It has to be, it starts to be cracked before it can germinate. So after that, once it germinates and you discover that the height is about maybe 3 centimeters, something like that, then you start removing it and put it inside the nylon that you have been inside the nylon filled with topsoil that you have ready to get. You do that. When you do that, then you arrange the nylon neatly and support the nylon maybe with bamboo so that the nylon will not fall it down. Then before you do that, make sure first of all water it. Then you plant it one inside, one nylon. It is better you plant one inside now. Don't need to plant now because I think you are already sure that you know that. It is only when you are thinking that one may not germinate, let me put two. If eventually you germinate, this time around it has already germinated. So you don't need to risk yourself. So just one per polythene bag. Then leave it for that. Leave it for the next 4 months. By the next 4 months, you will discover that the stem will have gotten up to about 6 leaves, 6 to 8 leaves. Then at that particular time, it's good for one to take it to the field. Though, before you take it to the field, please, it is necessary that when it is about 3 weeks for you to take it to the field, it is necessary that you remove the shed. Remove the shed completely. Let it adjust to the natural environment. Because where you are taking it to where sometimes there may not be shade there. So you want it to adapt to the natural environment right from the field, right from the nursery. So that means when it is about 3 weeks for you to take it to the field, remove the shed. Before you do that one is very inside will be absorbing the water. Then after that, then you might have prepared your nylon together filled with topsoil. Then before you put it, you have to use something that is called root hormone. Root hormone, example of that will be a good one of it is IPA, indole acid. Just mix, before you plant inside the nylon, put that cotton side, the one beside that plant, inside that hormone, inside the nylon. The essence of that one is that particular chemical will make the sprouting of root to be faster. That's about that. Corticillium produce fruit vegetable. Corticillium produce fruit vegetable means give good yield with greater advantage of any fruit you should expect that. Because except you do not take the proteins from a desired variety. If you are taking it from desired parent, then it's going to take after his parent. So if the parent is good, that means to be good. Then that's number one advantage. Number two advantage is that it will quickly yield. Any nursery that you establish with the use of cotton will quickly give good yield. Rather, instead of the one you use, the other one. You expect that because by the time it's cracked, you even know that the height of the seedlings is even higher than the one that you put inside the polythene. That the beans put inside the polythene. So that is another advantage of that. Then transplanting into the polythene. Then, please, before we leave that, this is a very important aspect. The polythene you are going to choose, please make sure that it is the real polythene that is made for you, not. Some people, they will say they want to use polythene water. That one is slightly a lot. This crop we are talking about, we spend the minimum of 6 inside our crop. So the soil that you are put beside the water sachet, that one may not be enough to sustain it for those number of months. So it is better you use the right nursery bag. Then apart from that, the right nursery bag will be evaporated at the bottom. The essence of that one is that when the water is in excess, maybe during the time you are working or when rain falls, when the water is in excess, then easily the water can drain out, because if it is waterlogged, if you kill it will kill something that is inside. So, but when the water drains out, then you'll be able to do well. So that means an ideal polythene bag, one must be able to have that particular holes at the bottom, and at the same time be of the size that be able to sustain the plant inside for not less than 6 months. Okay, when you are planting, now if you are now, okay, I think we are, this is the leader. Okay, next slide. Okay. And here are the seedlings. Well, at the nursery, there are some care that you have to accord the nursery. Number one, you have to remove the weeds regularly. Then number two, you have to make sure that you are watering. Watering is, in most cases, maybe, 2 other days. For example, when you wet it on Monday, by Wednesday, you go and water it. Then Friday, you water it. Something like that. But not just wet, you soak it. Because some people, they will say they are watering. They just, sprinkle water. You soak it. That is the meaning of watering. So then it will be of this size before we can take it to the field. Please, I want to believe that we are going along with me. Do we understand what I'm saying about? And now, coffee planting. Now, we are taking it to the field now. We hope I'm not the time. Am I going? Okay, 10 more. Now, we have planted our coffee now in the field. The distance is 3 meters by 3 meters. And when we want to plant, we have to exercise both here. When we are digging the hole, the topsoil we pack it at one side, the subsoil we pack it at the other side. Then, when we want to put the plant, the seed inside the hole, we have to be sure that the soil surrounding the seedling must not scatter. That one is very, very important. It must be planted in seed. And how do we do that? The bottom of the nylon, we can use our finger to cut, systematically cut it. Then put the nylon as well as everything inside the hole. Then now draw the nylon, because we have already cut it at base. So if we can move the nylon out. You understand? Then the topsoil that we first of all put at one side, we first of all put it there. Then with the little compaction. Then before you now put the subsoil. Then when you are doing that, please make sure you leave a very small space at the top, so that when you water, the water can easily gather within that particular space. Or when rain falls, the rain will gather that particular space before it eventually sunk. Now, then the nylon, please. The nylon that we are removed, please don't just throw it away in the far place. You can make sure you even hang it very close to that particular seedling that you are just planted. The essence of it is that when the farm grows bush and you want to clear, the person that is clearing will now see that black nylon at the front and will be careful by the time you get there so that it will not mistakenly cut the seedlings. Because by cutting the seedlings, it will cause you income. Now, after planting, these are the plantation management. You have to exercise regular weeding, regular watering, application of pesticide, pruning, then harvesting is necessary. Okay. Now we want to harvest. This is a ripe, a good ripe coffee berries. Next. Now when we want to harvest, I think I've explained the way to harvest. So I identify people to harvest, spread tapoli under the use hand to harvest berries taken into store. But after you might have harvested it, you pick whatever you want to pick. You pick whatever you want to pick, then you pack inside that hand and then put it inside the store for further process. Oh yeah, yes. Now you want to process. You want to process it now. Okay. You have already packed inside bag now. You are taking it home for processing. Awareness. Now you want to process it now. There are two ways by which you can process coffee. Now, one is dry method and one is wet method. Unfortunately, our farmers use dry method like they are not. And that is why they are buying it in a very poor price. Because if you don't process your coffee the right way you should process it, then don't expect that the buyer will buy at a very good price. For this particular dry processing, you know what they do? After they harvest it, after they harvest the bag, they will just go out to spread it inside the sea. They will not remove the covering at the back. They will just dry it. Now, any processor that wants to buy it, once it sees it like that, that means we still have to incur an additional money to go and remove that particular covering. And this time around, it will be very, very difficult to remove because it has already dried along with the beans inside. So that is why, then apart from that, the quality, when you are dried it with the covering, the quality will not reduce drastically. So because of this, any processor that want to buy, you just buy a gift price. Now the right way to process our coffee is through wet processing. And what I mean by this wet processing is that after you might have gotten your coffee berries, you need of them, go and soak it. Soak it for them 24 hours. And after that, then you depop it like the way I do it. Okay, the still goes. Yeah. Please look at it. Now, the soaking. The soaking, it depends on your wish. You may soak it up to 3 days. You yourself, you will know. By the time you try to remove that pot with hand, you know that this thing has soaked, then you start popping. Like I said, you can use popping machine, then, or you can use mortar and pestle. In most cases, some farmers they use mortar and pestle because it's easy to get. So after you do that, then you go and dry it 100%. This time around, you are comfortable to go and dry it because it's going to be used for industrial processing. Now you can see the way it is. Now, so this is the popping machine that I was talking about. This, when you have money to do that, buy it instead of this interesting, not that best. So it's trying to remove the covering now. from the seed. The first of all, put everything inside water, inside bath, then start moving and moving on, and the seed will be the seed. Now, after that, after you might have dried a bit, then I told you the other time that there is still something like a tester, paint tester. I never got to go. This time around, you cannot process it with that, because that one too is still a waste product that you need to remove. You can remove that one with cost paint. It's only cost paint that you do that. So by the time you put it aside, if you don't remove that paint something. So after you remove it there, it will not get the real paint. Now that is about processing coffee, whether dry processing or wet processing. Now you are processing your coffee now. You are doing the next thing is to the secondary process, which we call industrial processing. You want to turn it to the field now. Now you roast it. You roast the processed seed or the coffee beans. After you might have roasted it, then you now mill it. You mill it. You mill it with milling machine. When you mill it with as an example, when you mill it, then you package it. And you can add any additive, seal it, then it can become coffee drink. So that is about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khalede. Please put your hands together for him again. Doctor, the next person that will talk to us will be no other but Dr. Michael Okeli. 15 minutes. That will be the time allotted to you.
Thank you very much. I want to stand on the already established protocol and to present on good agricultural practices and tea nursery management. Next slide, please. The next slide. Yeah, as we know, tea production commercial basis in 1982, with initial planting material being sourced from Cameroon and Kenya. And in Nigeria is only in Mambilas, that is Calabar State. Then other regions include Jos Plateau, Gembu in Taraba State, Ogoja in Cross Rivers, and also notable tea producing areas. But in Nigeria, the total land area planted to tea is 1,200 hectares planted to tea in Nigeria, and the total production capacity of tea plantation in Nigeria is estimated to be less than 2 million metric tons per annum. This shows that Nigerian tea production is still relatively low, accounting for only 0.01% of global production. Next slide. This to tell us that there are opportunities when you grow tea, because the potential for tea in the lowland offers opportunity for increased production. Tea has been an island plant, but now it is being introduced to the lowland. So it now brings opportunity for the farmer to also introduce tea to the lowland. And the increasing global demand for tea presents an opportunity for the Nigerian tea industry. There is potential for further local and foreign investment in the Nigerian tea industry. Next slide. Nigeria imports significant more tea than it exports, and our sources of import is Kenya, Sri Lanka, China, and India. And Nigerian tea market is a large one, with combined revenue of 5.4 billion US dollars in the year 2024. And in the year 2023, Nigeria imported 18.9 million US dollars in tea. And Nigeria is now the 64th largest importer of tea, which we ourselves should be able to produce. Next slide. These are the statistics for the import. Nigeria alone, from Kenya, we import tea worth 12.1 million. In Sri Lanka, 2.1 million, all in US dollar. China, 1.7. India 1.5. And look at our exportation. The tea we export out from the little we have, we export to Benin, just 61,000 US dollar. United Kingdom, 15.8 thousand US dollar. To Togo, to France and Ireland. Next slide, please. Yes. So based on this, we'll see that there is this opportunity when we go into tea production. So now to the nursery preparation for tea. Whenever you want to go, the first thing that comes to mind is the best agricultural practices, the way you put your tea to make it more profitable. And why best agricultural practices? Because it ensures maintenance of soil pH. The optimal pH lies between 4.5 and 5.5 for tea growth, and efficient water usage, using pesticide responsibly, proper pruning and plucking techniques, and maintaining hygiene during harvesting and transportation. So now we want to look at tea nursery establishment. When you want to establish tea nursery, there are certain factors that you have to take into consideration, and this includes for site selection. When you want to choose your site, you must first think of availability of water. It must be a proximity to water. Then the site must have a good drainage. It must not be too slopey, and it must allow water to drain easily. And the ideal pH for tea is between 4.5 and 5.5. And one thing we need to take into consideration is there are sites or locations that you need to avoid when you want to plant your tea. Anywhere that you have previously used for tobacco, potato or vegetable, you don't use it for tea, because it will have the ground will also harbor pests and diseases that will not make your tea to grow well. Next slide. Then our nursery must be located close to the future tea plantation in order to reduce cost and stress on the seedlings. Also, adequate shade to protect the seedlings from excessive sunlight. Then you must use appropriate tea varieties that is healthy, vigorous, and that you obtain from a reputable source. There are two, just like tea, there are two methods of tea propagation. Tea can be propagated through various methods, with stem cuttings being the most common and efficient for using clones. While seed propagation, layering, and grafting are other options. Next slide. Propagation by seed is less common than cuttings, but you can propagate it from seed. Why is it less common? Because the seed of tea, they are recalcitrant. Because of the seed coat, it will undergo a lot of process before it will sprout. And seeds for tea need to be collected from mature tea bushes. So if you want to raise seed, that means that the plantation must be solely for seed production. Because ideally, the tea has a table size, that is the plucking height or table for the tea, and at that level it will not bring out seed. So anyone that you want to use for seed raising, you have to allow it to grow to its maximum capacity. Next slide, please. I think the seed are recalcitrant, meaning that they lose viability quickly, and this makes storage and transportation challenging. Because before you plant, just like coffee, you have to soak the seed in water for at least 24 hours. And when you put them in water, some will go sink to the bottom, others will float. So you remove the floaters. The sinkers, they are the one that will germinate faster than the floaters. Next slide. So the teas seed are planted in rows, just like for the coffee. You plant them in rows with the macropyle end, that is the end of the seed, pointing towards the ground. Then germination of tea take a month or less, with first plant emerging quickly. And why seedling is raising nursery from tea seedlings from seed is not encouraged. It can take 4 to 5 years to mature to full bloom. And that is why they encourage you to use the vegetative propagation, which is the second method. Next slide. Next slide. So the vegetative propagation of tea. Cutting is the most common and widely used method for tea. Propagation using cuttings allows for the creation of plants that are genetically identical to the parent. If you want to get true to type, let's say you like how the parent is and you want the offspring to be like the parent, vegetative propagation is the best way to go. And when you go by vegetative propagation, you only need a 2-node cuttings from your plant. Then you get a portion, just a node. A node is enough for the planting. The next slide. And the best bushes for cloning are selected based on their yield. So if you want to select for tea for the propagation, there are certain qualities you look at before you make a choice for the particular clone that you really want to plant. First is the yield. You look at the liquor quality, the sprouting rate, and the fermentation suitability, and its ability to tolerate dry conditions. Tea plants propagated from cuttings mature faster than those grown from seed, meaning they can be harvested very soon. So this is just the process of taking the cuttings. Cuttings should be taken from shoots that are hardened and are not too woody, typically between red and green wood. The shoot for cotton should be harvested when the weather is cool, and then you place it in water. A single node cutting are common, with cuts made at an angle of 3 mm above the node. And when you use rooting hormone, it enhances the chance of successful rooting. The next slide. So this is the diagram of how you obtain the cutting. This is the normal stem, tea stem. This is how you cut it. The only part that you need, you discard from here upward, you discard it. From here downward, you discard it. So this is the only one you need. And from here alone, you will have, as I've said earlier on, that it's just a single node cutting. So you will cut, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from this alone, you have 5 cuttings for your plant in the next slide. So this is how it will look like. The upper one is the ideal one. You can see that the node is still intact. This one is being damaged by insects. You don't plant that one. The other node has already germinated. You discard it. So the upper one is the appropriate one for planting. Then your cotton, immediately you cut them, you put them in water, in a container containing water immediately, so that it won't dry out, and you plant them immediately. Only one cotton should be planted per bag. Each of the a single node cuttings should be planted in a bag. Next slide. And when you plant it, you just the soil around the cotton, you press it gently around it. Then the cuttings of different cultivars should be planted differently. You don't mix them together. Next slide. This is the picture. These are single node cuttings. So this is how you plant them. All the leaves will face a direction. So those are single nodal plants. In the next slide, please. Then this propagation is done under sealed polythene tunnel to have considerable savings of water and labor. The picture that was shown earlier on, after you have done that, you will now get like a bamboo. You will now make a curve over those tea bags that are already planted. Then you now cover it with a polythene sheet. But before you cover with polythene sheet, you make sure you have enough water before sealing it up. Because the moment you seal it up, you don't bother yourself about watering again until after a month or over a month plus. And how will you know when to start opening it? The moment at first, when you cover the polythene bag, you begin to see vapor forming on the nylon. You will be tapping it gently for the water to return back to the seedling. That is the water that will take it till it sprouts. So you don't have to add any water to it. The next slide. This is it. This is how you do it. You can see after this one is already germinating. After the covering. And how will you know that it is now getting to a period of opening? The vapors that you are seeing at the top of this nylon will now becoming transparent. Later you will not be seeing water on it again. By then, the cuttings will have sprouted. Yes. So the cover could be retained for 1.5 months to 3 months, depending on the rate of growth, and removed in stages only for a few days. This system brings about a relatively fast vegetative growth, especially in slow-growing cultivars. Next slide. So what you need to do is just the cotton shouldn't be exposed to sunlight. That the nursery should be raised under shade. And after about 1.5 months to 3 months that the cuttings have sprouted, you now start the process of hardening. Why are we doing the hardening? The hardening is just to protect it from the harsh environment. If you open it at once, sun will have effect on it. So when you start the process of hardening, you can open it in the morning, let's say for 1, 2, 3 hours, then you cover it back. The next day, you do so continuously. After a week, you will increase the number of hours that you are exposing it to sunlight before you now remove the nylon in entirety. Next slide. So the normal time for you to take it to the field is between March and June, after the early shower of rain might have penetrated the soil. Though you can plant it at any time, if you have source of irrigation, you can plant it at any time. Then you avoid planting in the rainy season, because tea plant doesn't like overwatering or waterlogging environment. That is why it is being recommended that before you enter into the onset of rainy season, from March, you will have already planted your seedlings on the field. Next slide. Then you maintain, this is the planting distance, a minimum spacing of 60 centimeters between the plants, but between the rows is 105 centimeters. With this planting distance, you will have nothing less than between 15,000 and 16,366 seedlings in an hectare. That is what this planting distance will give you. And also you can accommodate higher plant population because of the nature of the soil in your environment. Then you plant singly, as I have said, in rows, singly. Not that you plant less than two seedlings side by side. No, it is singly. Next slide. Tea is just a leaf, and from a leaf you can have all these 6 types of tea. It depends on what the kind of tea that you want. So only the leaf. We have the dark tea. The only difference is the method of processing that will give you the different kinds of tea. We have the dark tea, the black tea, the red tea or oolong tea, we have the white tea, we have the green tea, and the yellow tea. The yellow tea is the one we normally buy, like the Lipton tea bag. That's the yellow tea. So these are the various methods for you to get your product out of it. And these are the things that right in your home, you can have an instant tea when you have it at your backyard or in the farm. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Michael. Please put your hands together for him again.
On behalf of my boss, the local government. Gives me great pleasure to be here. And just permit me to recognize a few persons. The regional coordinator for Exports Global Council, state coordinator, Honorable Commissioner for Trade and Investment Cross-River States, Dr. Mrs. Aguilar, our Royal Majesty, Honorable Ogoja and President, members of Ogoja Executive Council, welcome all of us. You see, this initiative is a great one. And we thank you for bringing this to the doorstep. Ogoja is a very, very blessed place. Cross River North as we are very good and we are known for agricultural produce. Come to cocoa, they Cross River State. Cross River North is among the leading cocoa producing areas in Nigeria, not in Cross River. And from what we've heard here today, we believe strongly that the timing of this initiative is very, very key. Given that we have a governor that has proven to Nigeria that Cross River State is a steady roadmap of agricultural prosperity. Talking with no other person, His Excellency Senator Prince Bassey. Since he assumed office, he's always talked about agricultural development. And he's not only talking about it, but he's manifesting it. So also the chairman of the federal government. If you want him to listen to you, if you want him to give you 10, 15 minutes to 1 hour, just talk agriculture. He's so passionate about it, so desirous of turning around the fortunes of Ogoja local government economically, and his understanding is that that can only come from agriculture. Because today, as we understand, agriculture is the money spinner of every serious nation in the world. And if that is the case, that means that the chairman of Ogoja local government is ready 100% to key into this initiative. I want to also appeal to us that, you see, the resource persons have just taken us all around here. And you agree with me that at a point it sounded as if coffee and tea production is a technical venture. But from my understanding, it isn't at all. It's just the same thing like cocoa. Because we are very good. I believe that anybody that can farm cocoa can farm coffee and tea. It's the same one and the same thing. So I want to say that us in Crsco North, and Ogoja in particular, we have the advantage. Having been used to cocoa production, we have the advantage and the best, people to go into this initiative and become the leading producers of coffee and tea, not only in Cross River State, but in the whole of South region of Nigeria. I promise you that. Then I also want to thank our amiable commissioner here. When she came in, she spoke like a teacher, and I really enjoyed it because she took the understanding down to everybody. I wish that it was in the rural areas where people that are not too learned were in attendance. They would have gotten up very well. Though she said she's a grassroots and she's somebody who is very close to people. I understand that. And I want to say that through our office and the office of the Commissioner for Agriculture, the Ogoja local government would like to key into this initiative by training resource persons that will take this campaign and enlightenment to the nooks and crannies of the local government. Because the real farmers, I can assure you, are not here with us. They are there back at home where we have the land, expand land to do this. So I can only say that after here, the Ogoja local government will do everything possible to see that on our own, we also train resource persons that will take this message to the youth and crannies of the local government. And I also want to appeal to our commissioner here that she should look at that very seriously, as trying to see how we take this message down to the rural areas through resource persons from the various departments of agriculture in all the government in Crsco. I welcome all of you. I appreciate you for bringing this initiative, and I pray that in the next 3 to 5 years to come, testimony will be what we'll be talking about, not trading any longer. We'll be testifying the goodness and the benefits of this. Thank you so much.
Honorable Commissioner, on behalf of the paramount ruler of Ogoja, equally and seated very close to the paramount ruler of Bakwara, His Royal Majesty. I want to welcome all of you to Ogoja and to carry home the message that has been introduced to us. Production of coffee, even within our backyard. That is what I captured. It could be 3-4 stands to start with. Well, Ogoja, as it is known, we are not lazy. And to go on as somebody who is not lazy, in every opportunity given to you, go back and utilize it. In every single opportunity like today, go back home with something. I am happy, and this message will get to the paramount ruler who sent me to represent him. I will be talking about cocoa, about coffee. And we talk less about cassava, which we have been dealing with over the years. Yeah, no, we know how to do that. That is already with us. Yes. So what is coming in addition to cocoa, is coffee and tea. It's my joy to share this experience. And I thank you for finding time to be here. I wish we have more opportunities so that we can carry the message to the grassroots. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you very beautifully, Your Royal Highness, for those very fine words. I beg, put your hands together.
And the our father, the paramount ruler of Bekuro local government, shows that they have real understanding of not just governance, of what is happening around with their speech. Thank you very much, sir. Then for the governor, what the governor has done, like you talk about curriculum. Curriculum of every state is not set with the Ministry of Education of the state. It is done nationally, I think so, and sent to the different states. What as a state we've done, we've seen our gap as a state. We were good at grammar. You go to school, you learn grammar, literature in English, we learn English grammar, we speak it so much. You go to university, you do grammar, history, political science and all that. We've realized as a state, it's not helping us. So what my governor has done intentionally is to convert the College of Education, Cross River State, to College of to University of Education and Skill Acquisition. So that if you go, it's intentional. Our children should go there. You do educational course, and you also get skill at hand. You also come out skillfully and begin to, if you have the knowledge, whatever you do in the school, like most of the watches they sell in Nigerian market, we learned it is the students in secondary school that produces them in China and Japan and South Korea. So before they will finish as university students at University of Technology, Education and Skill Acquisition, they should be able to produce those things. And entrepreneurship, thank you, sir. They should be able to produce things that as a state will begin to showcase. As Commissioner for Commerce, in the next 4 years, God helping me, I should carry the things we have produced from our University of Entrepreneurship to Abuja to showcase, to the different trade fair to showcase. So that's what our governor has done. So that our children will not only learn the grammar, will come out with skill at hand. So that's what we've done. Then for this, for the purpose of tea and coffee, the representative chairman of Ogoja said that I should come back and begin to go look possibly word by word. The supervisor, sir, the purpose of you being here is for you to come and have understanding of what this is all about. We say that coffee can grow alongside cocoa. So those farms within Ogoja that are planting cocoa, within the Kwara, within the Yala and the rest of it, we should alongside plant coffee and tea there. Tell our people that we can plant coffee and tea. Coffee is not, like we said, we all have learned today, it's not what you do for 3 months, 1 year. It takes time, but when it begins to yield, it is everlasting. It can go for 50 years. It will outlive you. That is, yes, you go exit and join the ancestors while your legacy continues on earth. Your children and grandchildren will benefit from it. So that is the importance of the importance of this tea and coffee like cocoa. They outlive the planter and continue to bring money to the family. So that is your job now. Take it, meet the chairman. This is what they said. We can grow tea and coffee alongside cocoa. Then the nursery is going to be set up, flag off tomorrow at Ogoja. Yes, sir, Ogoja. Yes, sir. Is it Ogoja? The nursery. The nursery is going to be put there. So you liaise with whosoever is the contact person you leave. So that when it matures, we can experiment first. Those of us that are here, we can collect the nursery, and experiment what we have. They have nursed for us. We now begin to put 3, 4, 5 in our backyard and see how it does. Then we begin now to, from there, we now go into full-fledged farming of coffee and tea. Thank you very much.